If you are planning on visiting Old San Juan, Puerto Rico, you definitely want to watch this video because it can get really expensive if you don't plan ahead. And trust me, I know, because the last time I went for a weekend, I spent so much money on hotels, restaurants, and activities. Honestly, I thought I'd never go back. But I completely fell in love with the city and had so much fun that I knew I had to come back. But this time I challenged myself to do it on a budget. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my favorite budget-friendly places to stay, eat and drink, and things to do in Old San Juan. First, let's talk about budget-friendly transportation options of getting to Old San Juan and getting around the city. So one of my favorite things about the city is that it's very walkable, so you really don't need any extra transportation to get around. In fact, I think it's a total of 7 square blocks wide, and you can walk from one side of the city to the other in around 20 minutes. So if you're just coming for the day, maybe stopping for a cruise, you can get everywhere just by walking. Now, if you have a mobility issue, just keep in mind the streets are cobblestone, also can get crowded and they're narrow. So it's not impossible to use a motorized scooter, but it is definitely more difficult. And if you are staying in the city, you really do not need to rent a car. In fact, it's kind of a nightmare to navigate the city by car. The parking is terrible. They only have a few parking garages, and you really just don't need one. Now, if you wanted to explore the island outside of the city, which if you have the time, I definitely recommend, you could either rent a car for the day. You could take an Uber into one of the rental agencies in San Juan, or you could schedule an excursion, and often the excursion companies provide the transportation from Old San Juan to wherever the excursion is. Next, let's talk about budget-friendly options for places to stay in Old San Juan. And the one that I found was on Expedia for just over $100 a night, and it was absolutely perfect for what I needed. It's in the heart of Old San Juan, walking distance to everything, and the building itself is this beautifully restored gem that just radiates those authentic Old San Juan vibes. It has 12 different rooms that they rent out, and in this video, I'm just going to give you a quick tour of my room, and in a separate video, show you the whole property because I loved it so much, and the owners were so accommodating and amazing. Really cute. It's not big, but it has everything that I need, a bed and a bathroom, has even a refrigerator, so we can store some things. It's nice and cool in here, which is great because it is hot outside. It also has a common area, which we'll show you in a little bit. So if you need glasses or an iron or hairdryer, everything like that, this common area where it basically has everything and anything that you need. And everything's so clean and nice. And let's check out the bathroom. Really nice sized bathroom, again, clean, a nice shower, anything that you need. And the link to book is in the description. And like I mentioned, stay tuned for the other video where I'm going to do a complete walkthrough of this property. Now it's time for some budget-friendly eats and cocktails. Let's start with breakfast, and you would think this meal would be the easiest to find on a budget, but I actually struggled with this because it was spring break and the places I wanted to go were just so packed and had such a long wait. The first morning, I had brunch at Cafe Cultura, which is a popular social media spot and was located right across from where I was staying. Now, it's not really budget-friendly, but one hack with a lot of these places is that they do serve large portions, so you could split a dish with a friend, and that's what I did. If you're a coffee lover and like those espresso drinks like I do, this place was amazing. But it does hike the bill up some. They charge around $5 or $6 for this type of drink, and in fact, that was kind of the norm any coffee place I went to in Old San Juan. The next morning, I was determined to find a more budget-friendly option, and I did at Cuatro Sombros. Here you order everything at the counter, so there's no waiter service, which really helps keep the cost down. I had the avocado toast with egg and some cinnamon cake and of course coffee, which was not as good as Cafe Cultura, but it did cost a little bit less. To be honest, I was disappointed with the breakfast options that I chose. I had really wanted to try Cafe Mallorca or Mandolin, but they were just so packed I couldn't even get in. And I know that there must be better budget-friendly options with better food out there in Old San Juan, so please tell us some of your favorites in the comment section. Lunch spots were much easier to find, and one travel hack I do to make eating more budget-friendly wherever I go is I'll have a later breakfast and then a late lunch and really skip the whole sit-down dinner. The first day I went to La Casita de Rones, which is not really considered budget-friendly, but it's a place I wanted to try because it is a very popular cruise stop and gets a lot of hype, and I wanted to see if it was worth the hype. Now, the place didn't blow me away, but I did think it was a really cool stop. The location's right on the water, it's very Instagrammable, and I love the dishes that I had, which was a salad and wings. Just left La Casita, and honestly, I wasn't sure what to expect because it's a tourist spot. Actually, the food was really good, like super good. And I just met another couple where they've gone to a couple restaurants and they've come back here 2 or 3 times because the food is so good. Now expect we are on island time, Puerto Rican time. It's a little bit slow, but my suggestion is come here during the day because you could share an app, you could share a drink or something like that. It's not gonna be as expensive, but pleasantly surprised. Now, right outside La Casita de Rones are a bunch of food trucks, and these are always a great budget-friendly option, and I'm sure you can get some really great, authentic Puerto Rican food there as well. All right, if you're looking for some budget eats, right here you can see the line of food trucks going here. So you can come here to this plaza, grab empanada, pina colada, whatever you want. It's going to be less expensive than going into one of the restaurants. Get the pigeons. Now, you're not going to see a lot of Puerto Rican food in this video, so if you came for that, I do apologize. It's just really heavy. It doesn't sit well with me, and I found that out the last time I visited Old San Juan. But I was hoping to try Devendura on this trip. It's a very popular Puerto Rican spot, and I had planned there on going for lunch, but there was a line waiting at the door even before it opened. And this is actually a really good tip for popular restaurants in Old San Juan, is to try to eat there for lunch instead of dinner. Sometimes the lines are less, and then you don't have to wait as long. One example was Perillo Pizza, which ended up being one of my favorite restaurant experiences. So we found a great budget find here in Old San Juan, Perillo Pizza, but the hack is don't come at night because the lines get really long. Come during the day, get a pizza, a personal sized pizza, which is super filling. You can eat that, it would fill you for the entire day, and then you can get 2 beers for $5. Super good and a great budget hack. I love this place so much I actually went there twice. Their portions are big so you can split it with somebody, and they have the beers that are 2 for $5. Just a really cool vibe, and all the food felt like it was really fresh and homemade. Another little restaurant that I fell in love with and you have to try is Birra y Empanada. Now this is another hype social media spot and a very popular stop for cruise goers, and the place is small, so it does fill up. And this is another place that I went twice because I just love the vibe so much, and it was happy hour all day. So cocktails started at $5, they had $2 beers and $4 homemade empanadas. So it's happy hour all day here, which we love that, especially when we're trying to be budget friendly. You can get a margarita for $7, rum punch for $5, sangria $6, Jameson $6, absolute $5, pina colada $6. And since we're talking cocktails, let's get into the budget-friendly cocktail places that you can find in Old San Juan, and there are quite a few. Many of the cool bars are on Calle San Sebastian, including one of the most popular ones, El Cafetín, where you will find shirtless bartenders serving you $5 mojitos and $2 beers. I really don't drink beer, I prefer vodka, and while I was there, I fell in love with the Puerto Rican vodka Bravada, which tastes really good and it's very budget friendly. So here I was able to get a vodka soda with a little bit of grapefruit juice for only $5. Another really cool spot on the same street is La Sombrilla Rosa, which is Old San Juan's famous gay bar, and the vibes are off the charts, very budget-friendly cocktails and beers, and you'll see in all these places, as the night progresses and things get busier, everyone just starts spilling out into the streets. And you have to check out La Factoria. It's definitely not budget friendly, but it's voted one of the top 50 bars in the entire world, and it's where they filmed Despacito. They have 3 different rooms with 3 different types of music, and at the main bar, at night, they have a live band playing Puerto Rican music, and throughout the whole place, everyone is just dancing and having so much fun. But like I said, it's not budget friendly, and the cocktails can get expensive. So I stuck with the Puerto Rican vodka Bravada, which is budget friendly, and my drinks were around $10 a piece. But it does get very crowded, and sometimes it's hard to get into. In fact, all of these bars get very crowded. So one tip is to try to get there as early as possible. I know most people want to go there and party late, but lots of times there's lines and you can't even get in. Another popular tourist spot that you might want to try is La Vergüenza. It's not necessarily budget friendly, but it has great Puerto Rican food and pina coladas and amazing waterfront rooftop views. So this is a place I would go during the day. I actually went there last time I visited Old San Juan, and the tip here is to get there early because this place definitely gets packed. But finally, I did want to mention a few places for snacks and sweets. Right on Calle San Sebastian, where all the bars are, there is a pizza shop called Slice Me, which I happened to find, and it was perfect because I was trying to save money and not doing any sit down dinners, but I was getting hungry kind of later in the night, and a slice of pizza was exactly what I needed. The slices were only $5, and they were really, really good. The owners were there. They were so excited. They showed me all around. Even in the back, they have this really cool speakeasy club that a lot of people don't know about. And they also had a few other options on the street if you were looking for more late night Puerto Rican food. And of course, I have to talk about the Drunken Cookie, which is another social media sensation spot in Old San Juan. Famous Drunken Cookies. So this got famous on TikTok. I'm not a huge sweet person, but maybe we'll try to get one. It looks like it's pretty busy, but let's see. Basically, what you do is when you get your cookie, they give you like a little small shot that you're supposed to actually put into your cookie. Interesting. This is very cool. So I decided not to get one just because they were just too big and I'm not a huge sweet person. I didn't want to waste it. But everyone there said they're so good and it's a must try. I also went to La Placita, which is a 15-minute ride outside of Old San Juan. So if you're looking to maybe shake up the bar scene in Old San Juan, you want something different, this is definitely a fun and budget-friendly option. I went during the week, so it was kind of quiet. They say in the weekends it's so much fun because they open up the streets and there's live music and dance. Now, I don't know if I even mentioned, I was only there for 2 nights. So most of the spots that I went to were tourist spots. But I know I didn't even scratch the surface of all of the amazing food and cocktail options in Old San Juan. In fact, that's what it's known for. So if you're watching this video, maybe you've been there or even lived there, I would love to hear some of your favorites and your recommendations in the comment section below. And finally, let's talk about budget-friendly activities in Old San Juan. And there is so much to do here that you don't even have to spend a dime on. My first recommendation is to go to the Tourist Information Center on Calle San Francisco, where they're going to give you this great colorful map. And I'm sure you can also find this online, but it really does outline all of the major historical spots that you should see. Many of these are free or have a very low entry fee, but one I think everyone should go to is El Castillo San Felipe del Moro. I had gone last time I went to Old San Juan, so this time I skipped it, but it's only $10 to get in. The views are spectacular, and the history is just so fascinating. It is definitely worth going. And just walking around the city is an activity in itself. Besides the historical buildings, it's just a beautiful city. And they have great art galleries, shopping, and like I already talked about, amazing restaurants and bars. And of course, I had to hit the beach when I was in Puerto Rico, and the closest and most popular one is Playa Escambron. Now you could walk there, but it is a good 40 minutes each way. So I was going to take an Uber until Mary Cruz, the owner of the place we were staying in, told us about a little secret hidden gem beach that was only really like 15 or 20-minute walk. All right, so this is the perfect secret little spot. If you're staying in Old San Juan, it's like a 10 or 15-minute walk down from at least where we were staying. The water is perfect, super calm and shallow. Just beautiful. I mean, look at the backdrops. There's a little staircase that comes down. The only thing is you probably want to wear a type of rock shoes because there's a lot of rocks to walk over. But other than that, such a cool little spot. Next, catching a sunset is a must anytime that you travel. And of course, it's free. And Old San Juan has so many beautiful spots to watch the sunset. I walked over to La Plazuela de Rogativa because it was right near where I was anyway. And the views were absolutely amazing. One of the must things you have to do is catch a sunset in San Juan. And here is the most amazing spot. It's almost at the end. Views are to die for. And finally, one of the highlights of my trip was the personal photo shoot that I did while I was in Old San Juan that I booked through Viator. And I do consider this budget friendly because it was under $100, which is unheard of for a private photo shoot. And Steve, the photographer, is so knowledgeable about Old San Juan and he knows all of the best spots to go to. So it was really one of my favorite experiences during the trip. Plus, I got some of the best photos I have ever had taken of me. So I cannot recommend this enough. I will put the link to book in the description, along with other popular Viator links of things to do in Old San Juan, like walking tours. So I did it. I was able to do Old San Juan on a budget. And I know everyone's definition of budget is different, but the point of this video was to show you, you don't have to spend as much money as I did last time to still have an amazing experience in this beautiful city. But one last recommendation that I encourage you to do after both of my experiences there is try to work into your budget a sit-down dining experience because they have so many amazing restaurants restaurants, and this really is a foodie town. Last time I went to Bocaro, and it definitely was expensive, but it's still one of the best restaurant experiences I think I've ever had during my travels. Old San Juan is also one of the friendliest and safest towns I've ever been to, and I met so many new people on this trip and got so many new subscribers that I wanted to shout them out. So if you do see yourself in this video, let me know in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you are new here, I hope you consider subscribing. 3 Days and Tres Noches brings you honest reviews, travel tips, and information about the destinations that we go to and show you can have an amazing vacation in a really short amount of time.